Hey, how's it going guys, ZedEye here. So today I wanted to give you my first impressions on Returnal, a PlayStation 5 exclusive game, so this means a lot of people may not get an opportunity of trying this out for themselves, including the fact that a lot of people may not like a roguelike genre as well. This is very sort of hinting towards going with the roguelike genre. Let me explain in basic terms as I understand what roguelike is, because mind you guys, I never was a fan of roguelike games, never truly was. A lot of people may even say like, what's the difference with roguelike and Dark Souls styles of games? Well, I'll actually get into that. But first I wanted to explain regarding my title of this video. It may seem that I'm coming off and kind of hating on a game or being at least very negative about it. No, that's not the case. It's just, at that moment you just feel like you're very frustrated, right? Let's say you died and you have to begin from the very, very beginning of the game. Yes, this can really get to you, and of course you end up be frustrated and you just end up giving up in some instances. In some cases, a game is very particular the way that it wants you to be playing this game. So there's not much variety in that case. Okay, I'll get into all of this and stuff like that. And by the way, yes, I will be honest and upfront. The reason of the negative title as well is because of the, well, views. Typical, isn't it? Very original, isn't it? Okay, so basically, I want to say that Returnal is actually a pretty freaking great game. You can definitely see the polish, the quality Housemarque has implemented in here. And yes, this definitely screams a PlayStation exclusive game, because if you guys do not know, and I'm sure a lot of people know and agree with me, that PlayStation exclusive games are the best games out there. And that's just a fact. But as well, I'm sure a lot of people will deny it. There's a lot of instances, of course. Everyone has their own opinion. So in this case, I wanted to touch on the core element of the game, like I said, the roguelike. This is not necessarily truly a roguelike game, because in my understanding, roguelike games were very, very popular, like old school games, if that makes sense. You go up to the machine, you go to the mall, and you pay like $1, and you go like, I'm not too sure, like fighting games, you go through point level 1, 2, and 10, whatever, and until you die, you die. And so you have an option of starting from the very beginning, or you pretty much give up, right? Game over, more or less. In this case, this is actually same premise, but yes, there is, like I said, right? This is a roguelite, I should even say, then instead of roguelike. There's a difference. So basically in this case, in the Returnal, you don't necessarily lose absolutely everything that you've had in this game. Instead, you actually will keep some instances, some items and some weaponries. In terms of weaponries, I'm talking about specifically it's the melee weapon, it's the sword. There are a few instances when you die, you will actually keep your sidearm, and also to my knowledge, that's really was all. And yeah, I'm sure there's also some consumables that you will be able to keep a hold on. Key items as well, I believe you actually need to return and actually find them all again, so for you to progress through to the next level and to the next area. Okay, so a lot of people will say that Returnal is very randomized, because the levels and the way they're structured are completely different every time. That's not true. It's actually quite smart that Housemarque has implemented in here. Basically, what I'm trying to get at, if you die once in this game, right, like after when the title screen comes up, says Returnal, I'm talking about after that you die. Let's say you die in the boss for the first time. If you die there, and in that moment, you will come back to the very beginning of the game. You will lose pretty much everything that you had, and you will have to start from the beginning and go through different areas and find different items and new weapons. Of course, you pretty much have to regrind everything that you have done, and this means a lot of people, and myself included, will get very, very frustrated because of this. And so obviously they may go raging, they may give up on the game as well. Also want to mention that this game's not long. I've heard a lot of things about this. If you not die on purposely or accidentally, or maybe because you were outmatched at that moment, if you do not die, this game is not that long. It's about 3 to 4 hours length. Well, 4 hours to be more secure in this case. like a lot of people will be very disappointed to hear this, but the replayability value really concentrates on you dying. So anytime you die, you get to see new things and new environments that you can explore. This means the length of the game will be increased every time. So there's like levels of getting through the level to the level, okay? You find new stuff, you take them if you want to, you basically upgrade yourself all the time. You get to the boss and let's say you die, then you have to redo a whole thing again. But going through these areas can take hours. Also, if you don't want to, there's not really much of a possibility of you replenishing your health. This means this game becomes even harder, and perhaps even just for the sake of it being harder. What's weird about this game that I noticed, and I'm not too sure if this is just bad luck or what is it, I'm not too sure, because let me tell you, I actually, when I was playing the game, I died during the boss round, and I was on the second stage about to go to the third stage of the boss, and I died. Okay, so I had to restart the whole thing again. But for some odd reason, a whole lot of enemies started appearing, a whole lot of different enemies, and a whole lot of different environment I've been exploring. It's pretty awesome, but a whole lot does not mean necessarily it's going to be easy all over again. There's different enemies that require more time to be killed, and they can obliterate you real quick if you are not concentrating. And there's a lot of things and elements that you need to pay attention in here. For example, one of the things that has been taken as a maybe inspiration, I'm not too sure, but it's from the Star Wars Battlefront 2 has this mechanic of reloading. In that specific time, when you hit this proper spot, right, you actually just cut short of the reloading time basically. But if you don't hit it on time, then you actually extend the duration of you have to wait for that reload animation to complete. Well, again, I should mention that the animation in this game is actually done phenomenally because you can actually cancel them out. Not like Godfall, if you guys know about that. Because in Godfall and Monster Hunter as well, actually, Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, you cannot cancel the animation. And I personally think it's just bad design. Perhaps, again, that's just my opinion. I prefer when the games can actually be cancelled during the animation that when you have initiated. In this case, in this game, it will be a big problem if you would not be able to actually cancel the animations. Because this game is very fast paced and you need to be going through the enemies very quickly. You need to take care of them as quickly as possible as well. And this means that there's a possibility of you dying at any moment. Your health pool is not that large. The availability of you actually upgrading your health as well, it's not exactly done well, in my opinion. Again, this is just my first impressions, and obviously my impressions may change closer to the review when I'll do finish the game. It does not come replenishing on its own like automatically. It just does not happen. You need to go to the specific consumables around the map and you have to pick them up. But they can only give you a portion of the health back. Now, if you have a full health already on you, let's say, and you still pick those items up and consumables, I should say, you will end up upgrading your health. I actually really like that. Now, yes, I'm sure a lot of people say, oh, there's a specific area you can go and buy your whole health pool back. It's not the same thing because you kind of want to keep it as an item for yourself whenever you will be going down. Let's say you're fighting a boss and then there's like he took most of your health back out, and then you can use the item by pressing the L1 button, bring your health back up again to the maximum. I believe you could do that as well. This makes the game far more challenging in a lot of ways. Now, I definitely want to touch on regarding the comparison between Roguelite game, like such as Returnal, and Dark Souls style games, and why I prefer far more Dark Souls style games. Now, in Dark Souls style games, obviously if you die, you go back and you lose pretty much everything, including souls, or if Bloodborne we're talking about echoes. But anytime, there's always this save point, right? You go to the bonfire, you're gonna get the save point right there and right then. And so you actually get to hold on to your inventory, and you can actually make sure that you don't lose most of your stuff. Returnal is not that. Returnal is a completely different idea of how it wants to go. Like I said, roguelite. I don't think I particularly like this route that Housemarque has went with the direction of roguelite. And yet, you know, considering how they have been developing their games, and their previous game, I believe was Resogun. And Resogun is actually a similar concept. Resogun had pretty much health pools. Anytime you die, you had health bars that you can actually retry again and again, and it depends, of course, how much you are dealing the damage, so you can get those health bars again. Now, a lot of people may say that Resogun is a harder game than Returnal. I completely agree as well, by the way, but again, that's just a personal opinion. I definitely want to mention, since this is an impressions, I feel like I did a lot of comparison, didn't I? I want to mention like such as the gameplay, graphics, sound, design, everything like that. It's fantastic, completely fantastic. PlayStation 5 really supports this well. 60 FPS with the, I think it was checkerboard 4K, I may be wrong about that. It does look wonderful, beautiful, and it plays super well. Okay, the sound design, actually, I really like it. I've been using my 3D headset that, you know, I purchased also with my PlayStation 5. And it is a wonder, it truly is, and it works very well. Okay, now I definitely want to mention some of the negatives about this game, and I'm kind of disappointed the way that this game does not have this. In fact, I'm actually more surprised than disappointed. Why is this the case? For example, the customizability. Why there is none of that? It just raises my eyebrows so high. I'm just wondering, why can I not, like, say, change colors of my character and maybe have different armor equipment, or maybe different helmets? Like, you know, wouldn't that be okay? Fine, you don't have to go an RPG route, but at least give us a cosmetic look. I mean, it's been done already on mostly, or at least all of the PlayStation exclusive games, hasn't it? Now, I'm sure a lot of people will say this, oh, why are you making comparisons between the PlayStation exclusives? But that's just the thing, this is a PlayStation exclusive game, so why can I not make a comparison as well? Okay, I'm sure a lot of people say, oh, Housemarque is not known for developing third-person shooters such as this, blah blah blah. Stop. Anyway, I feel like I'm just, you know, giving reasons on hating on the game, aren't I? But I don't know. I definitely am enjoying the game. Definitely freaking frustrating as well, especially if you die. In this case, I'm just thinking, why not I just delete the save, start from the very beginning, and because I already am familiar with the concept and the design and the, you know, the controls, I've got the muscle memory now, I can just simply breeze through it, because it seems like first level, when you actually start playing the game properly, it's so much easier. Now again, I'm sure a lot of people will say, oh, you're gonna lose on experiencing this moment, or that moment. Sure, whatever. I'm not looking for that, not yet. I want to experience the story of the game, even though it's not really existent, it's pure gameplay element. A lot of people will say, oh, you got not a movie cinematic, because, you know, PlayStation exclusive games are usually known for that. A lot of people like to always complain. Well, not PlayStation fans, of course, not them. I am one of the fans, of course, and I love movies, and I love cinematic movies implemented in video games, because they are done far better in this case. In this case, in Returnal, I should say, there are not many cinematics in terms of the cutscenes, right? Sure, there's always like introduction to an inventory, introduction to a weapon, or introduction to something. There's always a little bit of an animation and the cinematic. But so far, even the opening did not really have much of a cinematic. That's it, just basically crash landing on the specific planet. That's it. Go ahead, go through it. Straightforward. I actually kind of like that. I don't know, just my opinion. Now, here's the question that many may raise, and I'm 100% one of them. Is this game worth $70? And by the way, for me, it was actually 80 euros. Ridiculous, isn't it? A lot of people may say this: no game is worth $70. No game is worth $60. No game is worth this or that, whatever. I'm talking about specifically for the gamers and people that like playing games because they know it's their hobby and let's say they can afford them, or perhaps they saved up specifically for, you know, this game. Let's say that, right? Okay, I'll be honest and upfront. With my first impressions, this game is 100% not worth $70. Definitely not. Even though there's positivities in this game that it really does well, and I really appreciate it as well, and definitely is very fun, no, this game is not worth $70 at this moment. I personally would think that this game should have been worth about $40 to $50 maximum. So, my advice, wait for a deal, sale, or perhaps a second hand, because this game is, I don't know, I can't say much about it. I want to make a review first on this game, then I can give you a proper thoughts why this game may not be worth $70. There's a lot of things that does not do well, but also, like I already touched on, of course, but like also a lot of things are done well too. But again, that's your money. You can vote it as well with your wallet if you want to. It's up to you. And at that, I think I've touched on everything that I wanted in this video. Perhaps even dragged this a little too long. In fact, I do apologize. Hopefully, if you're still watching this video, thank you so much. All right, then like and subscribe. See you guys all and have a wonderful day.